All right. Well, I'll save us the introductions because we're a little bit delayed due to technical issues. But hi, welcome to the last week of ETF2L. Yada yada. You know, it's nerdRage versus the Germans. I'm joined by Wanda, myself. I am Surny, and we have Arch on the production. We're already in the first round. So let's see what this first mid goes to. My God, we could have had so many wonderful things to talk about if it wasn't for our unfortunate issues. But yeah, as it looks like, we do have nerdRage actually taking a nice early lead here until they lose their entire combo and only have their scouts left now. It's scouts versus soldiers, and it looks like neither of the German soldiers here really want to contest this with very low health. So it's going to be a 1 mid for nerdRage. Interesting goings on at the start of this game here. Now that we actually have a little bit of downtime, probably good to mention that Olga is standing in for the Germans, so it's not really a German team if you were going by that, but, you know, I'm hoping to see an interesting matchup regardless, even though, you know, this is technically like the third best team in Prem right now versus the worst. But, you know, you never know. Might be in for a good game. What do you think, Juan? If you have any ideas at all about this game?
I think that this game might actually be fairly close, considering like what we're looking at right now. I mean,
Mid was quite close. You are not wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Granary though. You gotta take that into account. Granary is traditionally a very slow map, so I would not be surprised if this map just goes closely in any way. That being said, there is a bomb in by Polly there, trying to get onto something. Does not manage to do enough damage though to make Olga pop, and ultimately that's what he wanted and he couldn't do. And Smear is also going to pay with his life, being a little aggressive. Fish Cup going in for the reversal, for trying to go for the counter sack. Does not pick anybody up though. That's still 2 picks up though, and it might be enough for the Germans to commit here. It looks like it is. They managed to kill Ams and Kuno before forcing Sprite, and this is fucking terrible for nerdRage. They just have to back off. They have to get out of here. Gazi's already trying to go for a little bit of a flank, but chooses to back off again, and that's a pretty comfortably 1 mid, even though they did have to use their own Uber as well for the Germans here.
yeah, it is Ubercharge. Even Ubercharges right now. We do see nerdRage already setting up in Yard. This is the very classic Granary Yard stalemate that we've come to love as fellow TF2 players right now. Sitting around trying right now to maybe sort of find an angle. Rising is playing towards choke right now, maybe trying to find a sort of early pick, but it is very difficult to do much of anything right now. Just kind of waiting for one team to make mistakes, and I'm not really sure who's going to make them first. Germans do have, like, they don't really want to push in, but at the same time they're kind of forced to, because nerdRage don't want to push out. If they push out and they muck up the push, then there's not really a lot for them to do other than giving up second, which is bad for them. So right now we're just going to see Gazi. He can choke a little bit. Adelos, he's spamming Yard as well. Maybe trying to go for something. They're rotating choke now. Trying to get a soldier in here. Fishkoff just decides that maybe it's not worth it anyway. Checking for sticks as well. But he does just find a pipe from Smear. He's going to back off as well.
It's unfortunate that they just can't quite get that opening, and Rising going down in the meantime, and Garrett is going to be a big opening for nerdRage to take some space here, seeing if they can take it forward. Amp's going dangerously low and getting forced back, and also Polly getting in now, seeing if he can actually get the force off onto Olga. He does force him, so that's a huge force to get there, with nobody on nerdRage in any sort of harm's way. No Uber charge on the side of the Germans. They're gonna have their own to respond with. Would not be surprised if they wait for Polygon though, as Voxtech is behind, and they are aware, but they're gonna be sending Scruff in, see if he can deal with him. He can indeed. So they're gonna be looking to push forward here now. Am's buying some space, picking up Adelos very early there, without any sort of problem, and the rest of the Germans just scrambling, backing out. Rising, seeing if he can maybe go for a pick here. It's not gonna happen, and that's a mid-1. Very comfortably for nerdRage, and they still have the Uber to roll forward to, even though the advantage is dwindling. They didn't have to use it all, which is not bad.
Yeah, but they are going to have to push in fairly quickly if they want this Ubercharge to mean anything. They are opting. Looks like they're going to try to walk into the lunchbox instead. This is pretty good for the fact that Ams is going to come into the push immediately with high ground, which is very good on this Granary second. He's actually just going to walk forwards now. He's going to find Gazi, however, and just going to get shot down, and actually gets dropped as well by Sprite. The Uber is popped out from both teams, but nobody's really finding anything. They're just using the Uber on the side of nerdRage to run out. Kuno just guiding out Sprite again, who's actually sitting in Yard now. Boxy getting a little bit aggressive here on the flank. Fishkoff, he finds Polygon on the ramp room already, so now the Germans are looking to push forward here. Smear's on the low ground as well. He's only 100 HP. They can't really hold this mid. They don't have any position. The Germans have taken all of the high ground.
Yeah, they also took down those soldiers so early. Again, Granary, a map traditionally very, very good for soldiers, and if you take those down, that's a lot of your firepower on this map gone. The scouts aren't going to be able to do that much, and that was just really what they carried them on that push there. They took down the soldiers early. They could just roll it forward without much of a worry about getting bombed from some sort of insane angle, unseen angle. That being said, Ubers are very equal again, though, and I'm going to be seeing what both teams try to do, namely the Germans, as they're in the driver's seat again, looking to push forward a little bit. They're very aggressive here in Garage. Gazi does sneak through, and Rising is already in behind, so that's two players now that nerdRage have to worry about on their back lines. And just sending one person back is not going to be no. Rising's going to try to get onto the combo together with Gazi. Neither of them can deal enough damage, though, to make Sprite force his Uber, and obviously Polly tried to respond with a sack of his own way earlier while that was all going on, and nothing came of it. Now with the two players down, though, the Germans going to be looking to hold on to this as best as they can. They do force the exchange out, and ultimately a little bit of a reset here, but nerdRage looking to stop any sort of a re-aggression from the Germans before this post-Uber push, and Ams is in behind in their garage, and it does not seem like anybody's aware of his whereabouts right now, so he's going to be looking to do some cheeky business here, seeing what he can make happen.
Yeah, that's kind of when you're playing against the Germans, one of the things that you come to expect is Gazi really likes to walk in behind, but we're actually just going to see Ams walk in right now. He's in behind onto Olga, he finds one rocket, finds the second one, but doesn't quite hit the third one, but Kunu tries to walk in as well. Also Smith, he just walked through choke, now there's 3 dead for nerdRage. They're probably just going to have to give up a second hit. Polygon, he's trying to hold the flank. Never mind what I'm about to say about Gazi, because all of nerdRage are dead. Complete wipe, disaster on the side of nerdRage. They try to go in, Ams tries to find something, but in the meantime, when his team tries to follow up, he ends up just sacking 3. The Germans walk forwards and find all of the kills there. Kind of big mistake out of nerdRage. I wasn't really expecting that from them.
Yeah, they just tried to sack 3 players for the medic. Ams was just not getting that last crucial rocket that he really wanted to hit, and unfortunately that element of surprise quickly faded, and even with 2 players backing up, the Germans just had the entire mid under lockdown and just could roll it forward. That being said, that's the first round up for them, and we're headed into the second mid, seeing if either team can shake it up. Maybe the Germans can carry on their momentum with that pretty quick first round for Granary, or if maybe nerdRage can try to respond a little bit. Fishkoff going deep into Garage, does not find anything though, and he's gonna get cleaned up. Polygon meanwhile responding, actually Ams as well, the double soldier onto the combo, but no kills, only the demo going down. So far on the side of the Germans here, Olga is dangerously low, but the entirety of nerdRage just forced into Garage here, getting cleaned up one by one. They do manage to find Rising, but Gazi and Boxtaker just doing so much work here. Smear is finding himself on 24 HP and gets cleaned up. Dude, that's a wipe out of side of nerdRage yet again. And the Germans take the second mid.
Yeah, the soldier aggression out of nerdRage was good in practice, or in theory, but not really in practice, as neither soldier was really able to find any crucial rockets. Polygon did a very quick bomb immediately, found himself on the enemy lamp trying to find, you know, some sort of vantage point, but that just meant that he revealed himself to both the enemy scouts, and when you're a soldier and you're trying to bomb the enemy medic and both the enemy scouts have seen you, it's kind of over already. So I don't know, like, the mid didn't really work. Now we do see Kunu, he's on sniper. They're at a 50% Uber disadvantage. He's going to have to hit a hero shot here, to be completely honest. Not really much else for it.
And it looks like the Germans are mounted to push from the right side, so him being on the left isn't going to be helping him very much as they pop in immediately, take down that sentry as well. Ams up on the heavy, he's going to get pushed off the pipe though, he's also going to be dangerous though and go down. No players on the side of Germans dying yet, and 2 players on nerdRage already, that's A-Loss going to the respawn though, and now the players on Germans being dangerously low, but Sprite, the only player alive, he can't clean up any of that damage dealt, and that's a second round for the Germans already. That was a very quick one. They're taking some momentum here. I like it.
Yeah, nerdRage are just not really playing that well. just taking a lot of weird fights that shouldn't really be taken granted. There's not that much you can realistically do when you're trying to hold against 50% Ubercharge advantage, except for the fact that they actually had plenty of time to set up both a sentry and a heavy, but they just elected to not really have a gun, which just makes the push for the Germans infinitely easier. We are going in now to the third mid fight of the game. Aidboss just takes a bit of spam really quickly here. Sitting on his own crate right now. The soldiers out of the Germans do jump forwards. Do we find ourselves a nice little pause?
It looks like it is indeed a pause. Interesting. Maybe there's some tactical talking going here. Maybe a player crashed. We'll have to see which one it is. But yeah, this mid's already off to a great start again. Both German soldiers just really aggressive here in Garage. They're probably going to pick up Polygon. Maybe he's going to trade with one of them, but Polygon is essentially out of the picture already. So that's a soldier that's not going to bomb, and could be in a good position too, but we'll have to see how this evolves overall. Nobody's game just yet.
Yeah, I don't actually think so far. I don't think AMS is in that good position when you consider where Ghazi and Voxy are standing right now. They're both around
That's also true, yeah.
the balcony. So when AMS is going to jump from this crate right now, he's just going to jump into two scouts and probably cry a little bit. But yeah, Polygon, he does look to be aiming at Fishkov. I think he'll probably hit that rocket, but you know. A quick reminder here, a very important factor is if nerdRage want to get playoffs, they have to take probably all 6 points if they want to be secure in their playoffs spot right now. Otherwise,
actually,
they could...
I don't know about that. I looked at the tables before. I believe they are secured in playoffs. The only difference is going to be... Oh, we're resuming, by the way, is that they would just be above Aura, I believe. That's the only difference it would make. That being said, though, we do see Polygon going down and Smear, and actually, Poly didn't kill Fishkop, so yeah, that's both soldiers still up, and 2 players down on nerdRage. They do respond with killing both of the German scouts here, and Olga also getting picked up. A very nice little juggle and a rocket combo there, and that's going to be a 1 mid for nerdRage. They turn it around and take the point. Wonderfully done.
Yeah, Polygon not dying, that really just kept nerdRage in the mid. It allowed them to re-aggress after sort of the initial wave of aggression from the Germans came in and sort of like failed, I guess. They didn't really manage to find any big picks, and it allowed nerdRage to re-aggress and just hit the rockets they needed to. AMS and Polygon, obviously, pretty good soldiers. They can hit some rockets, and they definitely did do that. They hit a couple of nice directs there on the scouts in the enemy team. So now they are sitting at a 70% advantage. They're going to push into the right side here. Already, Kunu just walking forwards. They take the Uber in, and now Smear's just going to jump onto the sentry. It's taken down immediately. But now, yeah, I think we're seeing where the pause is coming out, as people are just standing around, not really doing that much. Anyway, Polygon does get shot down. Smear is on the high ground as well. He's not quite dead. Yeah, he hits a nice little pipe on the Rising, maybe, but there's so much cap time on the point already. You have to be so careful here in the Germans. Just don't quite manage to find it, and now nerdRage, they respond with a round of their own.
We're in a game here. We've got a little bit of a game going back and forth. I'm not used to seeing this many rounds on Granary in this quick of a succession, and it also appears that there's a little bit of a config issue. Maybe that's what was the reason for the pause here. It seems like there's a wrong config on the server, as the game has stopped after 2 rounds. That's a little strange.
I think we're actually switching servers. I think this is what this entails. So
the
reservation does seem to end.
Which is unfortunate. Oh well. I wonder if they're going to continue with that, or if they're just going to restart the game.
I hope they don't
do that.
restart
I really
the
hope
game.
they don't restart. We've seen some great rounds already, so that would suck.
I mean, yeah, it's been close, definitely, and I think a restart would just not be optimal. I'm also not sure what the rules are for this on ETF2L. They'll probably just have to, you know, reset the rounds to the way they were before. But yeah, we were talking earlier about the tables, nerdRage being pretty much confirmed for playoffs, but if they don't get any points right now, they'll still be tied with Karnax, and I'm not really sure how the tiebreaker works.
That is true. I don't know what the tiebreaker is going to be like. I didn't take a closer look at that.
Yeah.
But
especially since they tied each other, it goes into some really weird sort of ETF2L rules that don't make a lot of sense unless you're an admin. So there are definitely some stakes in this, but they do, like, they only need to get a single point, which means they have to push 1 map to a golden cap. So it should, in theory, be possible, but in my opinion, they definitely need to step it up, because what we've seen so far from them has not really been that good. Been taking a lot of weird fights and not really hitting any shots either to boot, so they're just taking a lot of fights that they lose, and then they lose the rounds off of it. It's not very good.
And we have a little bit of a break to talk about the actual themes here, though, so that's great. Didn't get it to start with because of the little technical issues we had, but yeah, that's nice. That being said, yeah, it's the last week anyway. So besides the stakes of not tying for nerdRage, the rest of it is pretty much set. Obviously, there's the other game going on tonight as well, which is it's top 5 and Aura, I believe.
Yeah, top 5 in Aura. I'm gonna be
So
playing
that's
for
gonna be for second place essentially.
yes.
All right, interesting. Yeah, there's gonna be some interesting standings.
It's gonna be a tight second place for them if top 5 don't get all 6 points. If they get anything lower, if they get 5 points, for example, it's gonna be tied. So they need to get all 6 points from their official if they want to take the second place. It's gonna be pretty difficult for them actually. Probably a close game, but right now, just waiting around, trying to eventually find a server, hopefully.
I'll have to see what it ends up being. Unfortunately, the culprit of everything at the end of the day is always going to be reservations ending. Just terrible luck. Well. But yeah, from what we've seen so far, nerdRage definitely have to step it up a little bit. Looks like they did towards the end of that final round we did get to see. So let's see if they continue to carry that momentum onwards and actually take a few more rounds and potentially the map. Hopefully the map. That would make it very, very easy for them to not lose. So let's take a look.
Yes. So we do appear to have found an SCV. It's going to go live in the next minute or so. I think Surny should be able to find it in a Mumbo channel.
Oh yeah, I will join. There you go. I got it. I figured out. I've joined a TF2 server before. I can figure that one out. There you go. All right.
If I'd like one. I am now rejoining the game as well. I'm gonna get set up pretty soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully they'll just get right back into it. I mean, they already seem to have set the timer to what it was before, so they're definitely looking to continue to from where they stopped initially. Let's see if they're just gonna like carry over the scoreline, if they're gonna set it to what it was before, or we'll have to see. They're gonna submit it in some way or another. It appears that they are just playing. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure whether this is still set up. I can't tell.
Does appear on my end that they're just playing a bit of DM or something, trying to get everything set up so they can cap the rounds properly and get everything in order. This official is taking a little bit longer than we should have, as now both teams are readying up, ready to go and ready to take another crack at this.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna be setting the timer to 18 minutes here, so they're gonna count those first 12 minutes that they've played. So we do know that the Germans are up one round over Team nerdRage here, and we're gonna be headed into our technically fourth round. Let's see what these teams do. Smear a lot quicker here. It looks like they're even gonna let them take the mid that they had won potentially, as the Germans are being very passive potentially. I mean, a good bomb in by Amster, picking up Olga very, very early, and obviously everybody else trying to respond is going to get cleaned up. No soldiers for the side of nerdRage, though, and on Granary. That's always kind of a big deal. But Gazzy and Fishkopf are going to be having to try to do something here. They want to remain in the game for this round, because as it's looking right now, it's looking like a disaster, and that's both of them down as well. So Germans going to be having to sit on last here. Going to be trying to take a little bit more passive, it appears, as nerdRage comfortably take that mid.
Yeah, when your medic goes down at the beginning of the mid-fight like that, it just puts a timer on your own team where you're forced to go in and try to find a kill onto the enemy and win the mid really quickly, because otherwise they just have so much more health than your own team, and you'll just end up losing just simply due to the fact that you won't be able to do enough damage in time to the enemy, because while you're dealing damage to them, they'll also be dealing damage to you that you can't regenerate. So now nerdRage are actually moving in onto last already. Uber has popped onto Ams and Kunu. Am's just spamming out the sentry so far. Nearly air shot coming out there from Polygon. However, Am's is just so far forwards onto the enemy demo man doesn't actually find Aedalos. Actually, he's still alive, and now not a very good push coming out of nerdRage there. They just don't seem to be able to find anything other than Fishkoff. Full overcharge advantage now for Olga. They're on second already. They're going to be able probably to fight mid here as Polygon has reconnected with Sprite, who's at 70% HP already. The Germans, they're sitting in yard right now. They're just going to try to peek mid. Polygon's setting up for a play maybe, but he just gets spots out by Rising immediately. He has to back off here. nerdRage, they can't really hold mid at all. And now Olga, he's sitting with a huge overcharge advantage, looking to push this into second.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they'd be a fool not to take advantage of this, and it looks like exactly that's what they're doing. They're actually popping into choke with nobody on nerdRage even close to them. nerdRage knowing full and well that they don't want to be anywhere near that, and Am's going to be the only one to go down as the front man here. However, it's going to be enough for the Germans to take second, but now they've used their Uber for what amounts to a single kill. So naturally, nerdRage are going to be given their own and going to be responding with it as soon as they possibly can. Potentially even not use it at all if they do not have to. Gazi's still in together with Rising there, and they do pick up Polygon, and Gazi's actually going to go behind onto last. M's only just now spawning. They have to pull back the entire team to take care of him there. That could have been a close back cap if it wasn't for Kunu coming back quickly enough to take care of that. My lord.
Yeah, that's really nice play from Gazi, honestly. He's kind of known for being this guy that just likes to walk around a lot of the time, get in behind with your team, and most of the time during this season it hasn't really worked out. But when you're on last in a situation like that, or you're trying to push last, but the enemy has an uber charge advantage, it's so good for a scout to just distract because they have to kill him, they have to go back, and it just worsens the position of the opponent so much. It makes it a lot easier for the Germans to stay in the round, probably even, as now both teams are sitting on uber charge again. So now we're at another yard stalemate. It's both teams, they're just trying to fight over ramp room here. Aedalos eats a little bit of spam. We're back to fun times where we just look at each other for a while and look at the opposing demo man's hats.
I like the aggressive positioning that nerdRage have here though. Ams is gonna pay with his life, unfortunately, because of it though, but yeah, that's gonna be that aggressive positioning disrupted immediately as that cornerstone of your combo is removed forcefully from your team. But the Germans actually not gonna be taking too much ground off the back of it, and nerdRage aware of that seem to be the ones taking some ground instead and gonna be a little bit more aggressive again. I mean, they did also lose Rising in the counter stack play, but you know, taking it slow. Both teams not looking to make any severe mistakes right now, so we could even say that Am's dying was a bait, after all. They wanted to bait in and see what the Germans would do off the back of it. Who knows? As it stands right now, we're basically reset to where we were literally 30 seconds ago. So let's see what both teams try to do to break this. I mean, nerdRage have to be the ones to do anything here, right? They're still down around. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Ams has spawned on the spy. Streamer placed by smiley face. He's just walking his way onto the enemy side of middle. Olga's sitting on the point right now. They don't actually know that he's on spy. His team getting in position for a bit of distraction here onto the enemy blue team, but Olga has just managed to walk himself into a place where it's just impossible for him to reach. And now Polygon, he's actually in onto Olga. He does get the force. There's no Ams. He's stuck behind on spy. He's just walking into an Ubered Olga, trying to knife an Ubered player. That's unfortunately not how the game works now. The Germans do have 2 picks, so they're going to try to walk into second anyway. They have to get a force here onto Sprite before it gets too sort of awkward for them with this full overcharge advantage on the enemy team. They haven't found anything yet. Am's back on the soldier now, and it's, yeah, we're looking for nerdRage to push this, as they are actually coming out of second. Polygon going down as well. Actually, no, Rising, sorry. Polygon finds the kill onto Rising. Rising going down. Germans just backing off mid now.
Yeah, they'll have to pretty much. They're still down by about 30% here, and have to just back off as nerdRage are going to be rolling it forward. Fishkoff going down as well. They're in the choke trying to escape, does not manage to, and the Germans are going to be forced to back off to their own yard. They still don't have an Uber either, and nerdRage is going to continue rolling it forward. They actually pick up Sprite though. Oh my lord! He actually gets the shot from the. Was it a resub? It was the resub, the forward spawn. My lord. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's that halted completely. It reverses it entirely, and now Olga's gonna have that full ad to write home about, and they're gonna just retake mid here. nerdRage not gonna be able to do much as they have to wait for their Uber again, and we're back to where we were a few minutes ago. But this time, the Germans do have that Uber ad, so
I think we're about as far back as AMS is trying to feed into the enemy team while they have full overcharge advantage. They can't really do that much to hold second anymore. Do see Scruff already coming up on the engineer on last, just trying to set up a little gun here. Not really looking to contest seconds. They know they can't. If they built this supercharge, they probably will have it in time for last. The Sprite is already at a solid 75%. So we're probably just going to look at another little last stalemate here instead. Olga Fishkoff actually does go down to the spam from AMS. Nothing further really going to happen from this though. It does open up the possibility of an off-class. But Rising is dead as well. Maybe nerdRage is just looking to come back in. There's now two really important picks. The soldiers are really powerful in Granary second, and with both of them dead, it's so hard for nerdRage to hold, or for the Germans to hold this, but the Uber does come out, and Foxy, he finds Smear with this Uber charge. Amth is walking forwards now, but he can't actually get forwards into yards here. The demo's doing so much work, and now he's just caught between all of the players as Gazzy pulls the entirety of nerdRage onto last. Germans, they're pushing forwards onto right side right now. The soldier of Fishkoff does go down, but Foxy, he's still up, still finding cleanup kills onto Polygon this time, onto Kunu now as well. Scruff goes down as well, Smear's 1 HP, and Foxy just gets himself a 10k to finish off the round. 3-1 now for the Germans.
My lord. That man just could not stop killing people. It just kept happening. Jesus Christ, yeah, that's a third round for them. They're now 2 up over nerdRage, and nerdRage are gonna have to pull out some miracles here as the time starts ticking down. We're down into the single digits, so it's not much time left, and if you want to take a few rounds in Granary, you're gonna have to start really accelerating now. Headed into this 5th mid fight. We're going to be seeing what each team tries to do here. Again, Germans being a little bit more passive, a little bit slower, as nerdRage just poached themselves up, seeing what they can do. Poly already looking to jump in, just going for a little bit of a ballerina flight before now AMS. We're also trying to get onto the combo, but Smear and Scruff are both dead. In the meantime, obviously Voxy and Fishkoff going down, but who is going to win here? nerdRage aren't looking too good health-wise, and they're all pushed out, so it looks like for now, Germans have the upper hand on the mid here for a little bit, but they're gonna be letting nerdRage come in with Rising hiding. Very cheeky position there. Not been spotted just yet. I am very impressed with how nobody has seen him. Okay, AMS has found him. I was about to say that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for long. So that's gonna be a 1 mid for nerdRage actually, and they're gonna be looking to take this into second as well with 1 player down for the Germans. So let's see what the Germans try to do to hold this and maybe hold on to their lead, because they can play a lot more passively now. With 2 rounds up, especially on a map like Granary, it's very easy to just park the bus and take it very slowly. You can easily slow the game down to a pace that you want to play it at. That being said, the Uber exchange is on, and AMS actually went down before the Uber was even popped off on his team, so that's going to be a player you've lost before the exchange even happens, so the German's going to be taking full advantage of that, just moving forward, mulching Kunu and Poly on the flank. No survivors there. Scruff also getting cleaned up, and it's just Smear and Sprite left getting pushed out with AMS joining them as the respawner. And the Germans just keep rolling forward. The scouts already on the point. They're taking all the ground they can.
Yeah, a lot of the time when you are trying to hold and try to play a bit more passive, a lot of the time it might even just be worth it to play a bit aggressive, because obviously the best old saying where a good offense is the best defense, and pretty much exactly what we're seeing right now. AMS does go in, he tries to find something, because we are looking at what's right now honestly pretty dire straits from nerdRage. Germans, they don't have to pick up the pace any more than they already have. There is a sniper on Scruff right now, trying to make his way forwards, but he does find the stab onto Olga. That's a full Ubercharge advantage right now for nerdRage. So good for them, but Polygon, he's gone down on the flank. There's 3 of the Germans right now just pushing in. Kunu's dead, and so is Gazzy. However, Fishkoff does go down to the Sprite from Smear, but they can't really hold anything else. There's so many players down already. Forced to go back onto second, just Rising. He's doing so much work on this flank, just pulling them all back. He's sitting in Lunchbox right now. Hasn't been found quite yet, but he's done everything he needs to do. Almost actually kills AMS as well. He's so low, he ends up trading. What a play by Rising there, just keeping his team in the round.
This is incredible. They just managed to turn everything around so easily. They lose Olga to the Spy, but just immediately have 3 people re-aggress, and for some reason nobody on nerdRage was expecting it and had anything to respond to it with. And they end up losing way too many players, forcing their Uber off, and we're back to essentially a reset, just a full-on reset. You lose your medic and he drops and you just respond that easily. It's really just a sign of dominance almost. Like, yeah, you tried to harm us and we're just gonna shit in your basket and you're not gonna be able to do anything afterwards anyway. It's just unfortunate, really. And yeah, as you said, it's gonna be dire for nerdRage to try to make something happen here. Am's looking to do something there, but he just can't find any players, and the Germans just have a lockdown on this map right now. On this game of Granary. It's just not going well at all. Kunu does pick up Rising, but is it going to be enough? They're going to actually pop into Garage here, trying to go for an exchange. Maybe they do pick up Idlos, but that's it. And I mean, Olga does eventually pop up his Uber. A little late. He did drop his demo, but that's totally fine in a situation like this because they're just going to take it forward, rolling forward. Amp's looking to maybe kill something. That's not going to happen. Scruff and Amp's both dead now, and Polly as well. It's just Kunu and Sprite up, and they're out at last. So.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate right now. They do only need 2 rounds to force it to a golden cap, so they have about 4 minutes left, but at this point, I think this round means that it might actually just be curtains. 4-1 for the Germans right now. Getting 3 rounds in 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure is mathematically impossible, so I think the Germans have actually taken what might honestly be the sort of like their first 3 points of the season. Did they get anything against Bus Crew?
They got a few points. I believe they do have some points on the table, so they did get points at some point. I think they tied Bus Crew, yeah. So
yes, that is correct.
They did do something, but you know they're taking another map just for good measure. Even if it's the last week, even if it doesn't really matter, taking it against a team like nerdRage specifically, it's a little bit of a morale booster at the end of the season, at the end of the day. So that's something. Strong mid, by the way, coming out of nerdRage here. Idlos and Voxy both picked up already. They're gonna lose Sprite actually to a nice bomb by Fishcup, but and now they're gonna be trying to respond to this. Olga and his team already out very far and getting chased by 3 players here. Am's gonna be the one to try and make something happen, but Rising is just protecting his medic so long there. He does lose him eventually, but everybody that went for him also paid with their lives, and Gazzy's on mid. Maybe seeing if he can cap, and Rising just picks up Scruff as well. This man is a beast right now.
Rising is walking on water. There's no way he should be able to do that. There were so many players aggressing onto him and Olga respectively, and he just finds them all. Crazy rockets coming out of Rising really just further sort of mental booming the opponent. Really just has to suck if you're nerdRage right now. You give everything to try and kill Olga, and he's just not able to because Rising just hits every rocket after another, and it's so difficult. They're not even on mid because they know that they don't really need to do anything. Sure, Sprite's at a 20% Uber charge, but it doesn't matter at this point. nerdRage, they just have to find rounds in order to sort of keep their heads in the game for the second map. But honestly, I'm not even sure if you stop caring. It's Rising. He's just finding Sprite again now. And it's so difficult for nerdRage to do anything. Everything they try to do just goes horribly wrong. I do say that as Smith just does everything, apparently. And now Olga is AFK, trying to hold a choke. Maybe trying to find a taunt kill, doesn't find anything except for a cap last point. They do get 1 round on the board, which is good for their morale, but honestly, I think you just switched to discussing what you're going to do on Snakewater here. Yeah,
it's dead time, as we like to say, and there's not much they can do unless they pull out some sort of actual miracle. It's gonna be a map 1 for... I mean, I guess they could get some more map score if it does come to a tiebreaker for, you know, God knows what reason. If they actually end up tying Karnax, if they somehow do not take the next map either. Going for a little bit of a map score for the tiebreaker does help, so we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, we're headed into the last mid of probably what is the last mid of this game, and we'll see what these players do. Am's already dead, so is Smear and Scruff, and Polly as well. My lord, this aggression. Fishcup was just distracting the combo for most of that, and Kunu and Sprite just having to back off after that. It's just insane to witness. All that aggression by just the soldiers in a demo, especially the Germans, just laying on them to actually use the crits here onto Kunu. And he beeps every single shot after killing Rising. How unfortunate. And they force up Uber as well.
Yeah, they're just trying to have a little bit of fun here, keep their moods high, going into the second map, which will be Snakewater. Hopefully, it's gonna be a bit better for nerdRage. They didn't really find the kills that they needed to. I think Rising honestly just kind of put his team on his back towards the end there, really just doing everything for his team. As a roamer, it's a bit difficult to sort of impact a team in this way. It's very rare that you can have a roamer who's able to carry on a team like that, but Rising just seems to be able to do it right now. He's playing extraordinarily well.
Having a good day, it appears. A very, very good day. My man is enjoying life. He's probably been playing a ton of ammo mod right before this. Because with those rockets he's not missing, it's very evident. And yeah, the dead time is on. Gazzy's on the heavy, hiding below the forward spawn, waiting for unexpected players to walk through that shutter door, which is not going to happen because nerdRage don't want to lose another round. Because they could potentially even lose another round here if they really screwed it up. So I don't think they want to take that risk at all, and they're just gonna sit here and hopefully at least hold on for a bit. Yeah, they use the crits again onto Gazzy and also clean up Voxy, and I suppose Adlos and Rising too, but not with the crits. So yeah, that's Granary. I don't really know what happens for these last like 2 minutes. I have no real idea what happened. It was just interesting to witness, and the server is lagging.
That's always a good sign. Probably trying to change map or something else. Not really sure. We should probably take a look at some logs.
That is indeed a good idea.
Should we be able to find them?
Oh, it shouldn't be hard, yeah.
Actually, we do see AMS does do. To be completely honest, we do have to keep in mind that this is only like half of the logs anyway. The logs are going to be a little bit skewed due to the fact that we don't have the first 3 rounds in this log. However, AMS does find the 275 DPM, which is not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
It's not good either. I mean, usually Granary is touted as one of those maps where, as a soldier, you're able to do a lot of damage, actually, but he's just... It's a bit hard, right? Because honestly, like, all of the myths about soldier, or about Granary being a soldier map is a complete lie, because the Winger exists, and that makes Granary a scout map. So,
True,
I don't know.
true.
Voxy's stepping up big time for his team as well, it seems.
He's been having a good game. Absolutely. He's been pulling a ton of weight. Just the amount of fragging he's been cleaning up, the amount of damage he's been actually still putting out as well. Very, very well played by them. And yeah, the logs show it. Like it was just a better game for the Germans. They just did way better on that map, at least. And let's hope that it doesn't spell doom for nerdRage on Snakewater either, because they can keep it. At least if they can keep their heads high, if they can, go against the tilt, then we might see a completely different game on that map. It is a very different map. It does play differently, so we'll have to see how that goes. But my lord,
Maybe we're switching servers again. It does seem like 9 people timed out at once or something ridiculous like that. And then 3 more people also have left the server. This official is just getting better and better and better. 3 servers or 1 official must be pretty stressful for the teams, honestly. Maybe it just contributes even more to the tilt factor.
I mean, you also get all that downtime. Like, imagine you're warmed up, right? You're having like a good stride, then you get like a 5 to 10 minute break in between that you weren't really banking for, and you just lose all that adrenaline, all that heat that you had going, just because you're having to switch servers yet again for the second time in this official. It's unfortunate. Well, at least they won't be doing it mid-map, hopefully. So
hopefully
that's something. It's hope that they stay on one server for the entire duration of Snakewater. At the very least, that would be something. But yeah, it's gonna be all about nerdRage here. If they at least manage to take this map to a golden cap, they'll have their playoff spot absolutely secured. So at the very least, they're gonna have that. But if they don't, then this could actually be bad for them. And I wasn't expecting that at all. And headed into tonight's game, I was honestly expecting this to be kind of a roll, to be perfectly honest.
Same, but I just honestly, like, time and time again, I think the team this season that I've been the most disappointed by has been nerdRage. I do, however, think there's a very important asterisk to add to this, which is that nerdRage have only been together for like a couple of months. They haven't had a lot of time to really develop and sort of build that synergy that you do kind of expect from from most Prem teams, so it takes a while to build up, and they're just not quite there yet. Hopefully, they'll just like be able to play a bit more. Like most of the synergy just comes with time, and it just requires playing for a long time together. As we do see, for example, the best team in Europe at the moment is Sen EU. They just have so much synergy between each other, and that's because they've been together for ages. Really does just help. I think just time is the solution for this, and hopefully nerdRage sticks along for a while. It'd be good to have some nice competition back in Europe, as right now, to be completely honest, we're in a bit of a power vacuum, as we lost 2 of the best 3 teams in Europe, and need some new blood to come and replace it.
Yeah, absolutely. Depends on how next season goes as well. I mean, these winter seasons tend to be a little slower. You know, I mean, we will have Copenhagen coming up next year, so, and obviously also the big old BTS LAN. So maybe some gamers are going to be at least grinding for that. I can see like towards Copenhagen we're going to be seeing a lot of competition again. Maybe. Who knows? For now, I'm not surprised that some teams are taking a little bit slower now. For this like autumn season, that's pretty expected. And on the terms of synergy and cohesion as well. I mean, the Germans, they do have Olga Merkin today, but obviously like they have tons of cohesion there, tons of synergy technically. So, and I mean they've also been playing together for quite a while. It's how nationality circle jerk teams go. Usually they're pretty coherent. I mean, we've seen the same with like Carnax. Carnax is a team that has been together for so long as well, and they play together so well, right? And I mean they've been having some insane upsets this season, so it does provide quite a lot. Yeah, with nerdRage not being together for that long just yet, being a little bit of a mixed team headed into the start of the season at least. So let's see if they can pull it around on Snakewater. It's a different map. What's the keys? What are the keys for entering this kingdom of Snakewater and taking it home?
I think AMS and Polygon need to be able to find some better mids. They're probably going to be really aggressive and really assertive again, but honestly, like, they're going to have to find just something better right now than what they were able to find on Gullywash, or on Granary, sorry. They weren't really able to find a lot of effective mids, which is just on a map like Snakewater as well. It's so important to win this mid fight. If a mid fight goes badly, Snakewater is just one of those maps where if you get wiped on mid, and the enemy medic lives, you've just lost the round. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, everyone on nerdRage just kind of needs to step up. Like, all it really realistically takes is one player on their team stepping up a little bit. Like, maybe like Kunu going off on a sniper or something. It's all you really need, effectively, to come back into this game and make it really, really close. Or even effectively win it. Yeah,
especially on Snake, which is a lot more sniper friendly than say Granary is. So it's a much better sniper map, and Kunu is one of the most dangerous snipers in EU. So when that man has a good day, he is extremely dangerous. Your head will not stay screwed on for very long when he's on the loose. So yeah, like if some people, especially people like Kunu, do find their strides on nerdRage, I feel like this could be a done deal for them. But let's see what they actually end up doing, because as it looks right now, and if they continue, it's gonna be a little shaky. It's looking not that great. That being said, the teams have readied up, and it looks like we're going to be headed into our first round of the second map of Snakewater. So let's see what these teams are gonna be up to. Let's see what they try to do here. Both making their ways forward. Smira again a little bit quicker here than his counterpart. Tends to be the case for the past few rounds as well. So he's continuing that tradition at the very least, and let's see what these teams do. nerdRage, again, the soldiers, yeah, as you said, they're taking it very aggressive with mid. Fishcup was actually on the heavy to mid. Very interesting choice. It looks like they were expecting a lot of aggression out of soldiers. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out as he did go down. But in the counter, they do pick up Sprite, and that's obviously not something you like to see if you're wanting to win. You don't want to lose your medic on mid. They finally pick up Olga at the very least, so it looks like it's going to be going in nerdRage's favor here as Kunu is fighting Aidless and probably going to win realistically unless Aidless hits some insane pipes. That's that done. And yeah, they do win the first mid at the very least.
The heavy onto mid is such a weird tilting like counter strat. I think it must have been done with almost the same sort of like... It's kind of like when you run like a heavy to last or something, like it tilts the team almost as much as it actually works effectively. It really works because as you saw, like Polygon and Ams just immediately were super aggressive onto the enemy balcony, and their heavy just does so much to deny it, even though he does go down really quickly. But now we do see Rising. He's trying to bomb, maybe trying to fake it out here. Just they did find Sprite on that mid, so it means it's still even Ubers. They don't really have to do that much right now. Either team now can just set up on their respective sides of the saw and choke and just wait for the opposing team to make a mistake. Send in a sack that doesn't quite work out, as now we do see Ams, he's actually jumping in immediately. Does only find a scout, as now Polygon, he's in as well. Tries to rocket onto Olga, only finds one. Olga is dropped down to 70 HP, but he just finds a pack immediately now. One player down for nerdRage. Ams did get out somehow there, I'm not quite sure how that happened. How they're maybe just looking on a for a counter sack on the German side, but Ams, he's found Voxy in saw room, just trying to clear some sticks. Unlucky. Now he's going to jump in a window, but he just completely flubbs the jump. Ties to some sticky bombs there from Aidlos. And we're just back to one down for either team. Rising, peeking in the window right now, maybe trying to find something through saw. No, just spots a soldier on the HUD. Knows he can't really jump in.
We're back to a reset yet again. But yeah, I mean, the Germans, they don't really have to do much. They just have to play a nice game. If they really want to screw over nerdRage, you know, just slow the game down until nerdRage have to do something if they desperately want to win the map. So overall, it's really just nerdRage is in the driver's seat here. They have to do something. They just have to do something. That being said, Kunu is on the sniper. So maybe this is the thing that we were hoping for. Maybe he is going to do his magic and find the kills that are necessary for his team to, you know, actually proceed here. But looks like Germans are aware of that, so they're not going to be putting themselves in any sort of sightlines willingly. So Kuno's going to have to work for those headshots. He can't just walk in and like just get one. He's going to have to actually work. That's the hard part.
Yeah, he is just trying to peek here onto Fishkoff. He does spot an arm, also spots a head for a brief second, but that's such a quick reaction time you need if you want to hit that. Sniper, honestly, if you're going to try to snipe on Snakewater, sniping into second is probably the worst spot to do it. The angles just aren't really there unless you can somehow secure like an angle through window, but as you can see, Aidlos just has it sticked up. It's so hard to really get in there. You kind of have to go for the hero shot if you want to do anything. He's just scoping up, trying to peek in as Ams jumps in to try to make a little bit of space for Kunu, just ultimately ends up going down to the side of Fishkoff. Now Gazi, he's walking forwards into choke, but Foxy goes down to Smear as well. He's just alone in Soul, but it's okay. Demo man and choke points are really good, so it doesn't matter. Now Kunu, he's able to walk a bit more forwards. He's going to move up towards the window, never mind. Liest is sticky first, he's going to walk into window now. He does spot Aidlos through the fence. Can't shoot people through walls in this game, so he's just going to back off. Try to re-peek at a different angle here. He's going to walk into grass, maybe try to find something there, but Aidlos, he's still standing behind this fence. Can't really find anything. There's a soldier that's jumping across, but doesn't know. The Germans, they're playing around this sightline so well, and now Ams is going to bomb forwards into grass here, trying to make it a little bit more space for the sniper, but Rising and Fishkoff just respond immediately. Now Fishkoff has found Kunu with these rockets, and just bombs into choke for free. Ams is dead as well. Now Olga, he does drop to the sticky bombs from Smear. I'm pretty sure that's a blind there onto Olga. Just Smear accidentally kills Olga with this trap, and now it's a full overcharge advantage for Sprite. Even though they are too dead, they're probably just going to wait for these spawners who will come in. They're just going to slowly walk grass already. Smear with his combo along with Scruff right now. Ams and Kunu, they're back up, and they're just going to walk into grass here. Not really much of a contest coming out from the German side except for Rising finding a headshot onto Scruff here. Maybe he can get a follow-up, but no, it's so difficult to peek out of this lobby as well.
Yeah, and they're just going to be sitting on their last, slowing down nerdRage a little bit there with that pick onto Scruff, and, you know, making sure that they're going to be aware of the sniper, even though he's probably not going to be able to do much anymore, and they pop into Shutter immediately. Obviously, not taking any risks there. Getting onto the sentry kind of late. Taking quite a time there to take down that sentry. And no player's dead yet. Oh lordy, they could not find that shot onto Rising, could they? Ah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. And with every waking second, they've already lost Smear, and every second that this goes on, it looks like the fight is falling in the favor of the Germans as nerdRage have to back off. Actually, they do get Ams to force Olga. That was Polly, my bad. Polly forcing Olga, so there's no Uber for the Germans, and if they manage to keep Sprite alive, your nerdRage will have something to respond with soon enough, as the Germans frantically try to take the second point to just secure a little bit of extra time. And they will manage to do that. Am's already in deep, trying to get onto Olga. He does pick him up. Very nicely done. Oh my lord. That's the pick you dream for, and everybody else on the Germans is also falling down. Fishcup, the only player alive, trying to battle Polygon here. He does trade, and that's no players up for the Germans, so this is going to be the first round taken for nerdRage.
What was that? That shot onto Rising was absolutely insane. I'm pretty sure he got air shot by like 3 different players that was in the air. Ultimately didn't even die though. He got picked off by a splash rocket afterwards. Crazy sequence of events though. As Am just finds the hero shot onto Olga afterwards on that balcony area, killing a med. Aidlos going down as well. Just a free round at the end there for nerdRage. They actually, to be honest, they almost threw that round when they all went for that Rising air shot, but it was too juicy to not go for it. Now we're in the mid. Rising actually jumps into the enemy kitchen almost immediately. Voxy does find a kill onto Kunu, but does go down himself. Polygon found by Fishkoff, and now Aidlos just finds a pipe on the Sprite. It's only 3 up. Smith's jumping in onto the medic right now. He's in sore, but no, hasn't quite find anything, and he's the only one alive. Just caught, tries to find something, but no, he just goes down. It's a full wipe for the Germans, and Olga lives. He's at 90%, and they'll probably... They're walking onto grass already. They're going to take second, maybe even lobby here, depending on how aggressive they want to be. It's definitely doable right now.
They're going to be aggressive, given that nerdRage are not looking to contest this in any way, shape, or form. They're setting up on last. They're building their sentry. They have Kunu on sniper, seeing if he can just get a cheeky shot if the Germans do decide to come through Shutter, which, you know, realistically, they very well might. So, you know, they're just looking to hold this and not lose a round immediately after taking one, because that would be unfortunate. Kunu can't get that shot. They're gonna Uber in immediately, seeing if they can take down the sentry. Sentry actually not going down at all, and Kunu finds a nice shot onto Aidlos, so yeah, that sentry's gonna stay up. If your demo dies because he's not flashed for a split second and Kunu's on the loose, then you know, that demo's dead, and they also lose Fishcup and Tail there, and Gazi being very low, as is Rising actually. Yeah, they're both gonna get cleaned up. So that's gonna be a very nice hold by nerdRage, and they're gonna be moving forward, seeing they can maybe even roll this up into mid, potentially, given that they have a very huge advantage to work with now. So let's see if they decide to do that. Yep, they do indeed.
Ooh, Rising is sitting in forward spawn right now on the sniper, trying to find something. But they're pushing balcony on the side of nerdRage. It's actually really difficult for him to find anything at all. They can play this so carefully, so passively on nerdRage right now. Not in quite yet. Rising, he's just that back there. In forwards, he can't find anything. Is now Fishkoff, he's in already. 3 players, 2, down for the Germans. Rising's in forwards, he's just found absolutely nothing. He's forced to backspawn, can't quite be Gink. He's gonna try to snipe from the second forwards instead. Open the door, maybe a little bit too soon, as now he's just finding the wrong angles at the wrong time. He's only gonna find a body shot onto Polygon. He's sitting in a position where he cannot shoot any of the players.
Ams is so far behind. What is he doing? He kills Gazi there, and Aidlos also gets cleaned up by Smeary, and it's just Voxy and Fishkick left to try to contest this here together with Olga. Olga having to pop his Uber off to contend with sprites here. While that entire thing was happening, Ams was just walking behind. The entirety of his team went through Saw, and he was just walking under. He went through lower. He walked in on last and just started bombing free people that were completely unsuspecting of him. I don't know how they let him walk in that far. He was waddling the entire time. It was glorious to witness almost. But yeah, dude, nerdRage, you take second off the back of that, and the Ubers are equal. So let's see how they approach this last push, or if they approach this last push. I mean, realistically, they probably want to. But yeah.
They're just going to set up in lobby right now. Maybe look for a space for a sack, as Ams and Polygon, they're both taking heals from their medic right now, but there is a sentry from Gazi. This sentry spot in particular just makes it almost impossible to bomb anything at all. Polygon is just going to jump in. Almost kills Aidlos, but doesn't quite find any damage right now. And Gazi is just going to move the sentry gun a little bit. with his dispenser as well. The dispenser is, of course, the most important building. Allows the heavy to spam very funny words in the chat, and now... This sentry gun, I've never actually played it myself, but rumors say that it is basically impossible to kill unless you push it under with an overcharge. Which obviously does happen, but Rising has decided to come up on the spy at the same time Kunu is on the sniper as well. Gonna try to find a pick. This is probably the most realistic, or probably the most likely thing that you are going to see, given that Polygon did die, so he's able to open that forward spawn door, allowing for Kunu to snipe. Now Amzi's found his way through drop down. He's just in on last right now. Get some
Rising,
nice cheeky spam.
Rising is...
Try to force them into a more unfavorable position, but no, Rising doesn't quite get the backstab, and Ams goes down as well. It's one player down, but he does get the force onto Olga to full add Polygon. He's just sitting in that Vol Noxie's dead as well. Polygon is on the battalion's backup now. He probably doesn't have it built up quite yet, but it's a full Ubercharge advantage for the side of nerdRage. They have 2 down as well. They can push this already, but they do have this sniper. He has to find some sort of damage. He does find body shots already onto the soldiers, but they're pushing in Dispenser, and the Sentry are dead now for Gazi. But Olga finds a kill onto Polygon with this Arab right now. nerdRage, they still haven't popped. They still aren't in, but the Heavy and the Pyro doesn't go down quite yet. This Heavy's finally dead, but the Pyro solo as well, but they haven't found any space on the point. Doesn't really matter though. They've found so many kills. Sprite is dead already, but Kunu's dead as well now. Everyone is dead except Olga. That's another round for nerdRage. Woo!
I have no idea what happened for half that time. I was extensively confused with the turn of events that we were witnessing. My lord, what a scrappy yet weird last push, and it worked out because they managed to find the kills with superior DM. My lord, what a round for nerdRage, and they're going to be taking it into the third mid of Snakewater here. 70 minutes left on the clock, so lots of time left to take more rounds for either team here. Let's see how they approach this one. Maybe they'll carry forward. There's some more momentum here, but they finally found what they were looking for. And Rising again, very far forward here in the enemy team's kitchen already. Nobody really aware of him, except for Smire, who is going to keep him pressured back. And with a soldier behind, I mean, he's not going to be bombing, so... That's going to be one less problem to worry about. Kunu is going to clean him up as well. Polygon does go down, though, in turn, and that's one soldier down on each team. And the Germans having way better positioning right now. Just so much ground that they have taken. Am's looking to take a little bit of high ground here, but ultimately just going to get spammed off again by the scouts, and there's not much he can do. nerdRage just... They really have to try and find some positions here, but they're just not going to, and with Am's going down, and Smire as well. Only Voxy being the pickup on... of the Germans, they're just gonna have to back off and hold second. At least they didn't lose their medic, so it's gonna be an equal Uber situation here, and I would not be surprised if we do see an exchange happening for this second point, with Gazi already on the point, taking it forward. Very aggressive here, seeing if he can just force some cap time on, just deal some damage. Polygon going dangerously low, getting picked up actually, cleaned up by Rising, who is going to die ultimately himself, and both teams just back and forth, a little bit of poking, a little bit of prodding, but no committing to a push just yet. And it looks like nerdRage are going to stabilize to hold second for now.
Yeah, that was a very long, scrappy, actually not even scrappy, just a very long mid-fight, as the Germans just managed to claim high ground with both their scouts. And if you're just a soldier trying to regain some positioning there, it's really difficult to do anything. It kind of forced Ams into a situation where he had to jump up top, had to find some miracle rockets onto the enemy scouts, and he just wasn't able to do it. However, when the Germans did push forwards, a really nice play from Polygon, sat on the pipe, but no, Ams actually, never mind, he just doesn't want me to talk about analysis of this game. He just goes into sort of sacks himself in for some reason. Not really sure why you do that in the current situation, but he does go forwards. Polygon almost drops down as well. They're so low, but Olga, it's only 24 HP, but Smir's dead right now. Fish is in behind as well. The Uber's popped out by Sprite, and not even Olga. Olga was lower HP the entire time, but the aggression out of the Germans just able to catch out all of nerdRage, and now they have a full Ubercharge advantage for last without even popping there. Horrible mistakes from nerdRage.
Very unfortunate. But we've seen them hold last with a full Uber disad before, so it is definitely possible. And if they manage to pull the same thing off again, it's going to be very, very easy for them to. Again, we do have Kunu already on the sniper, looking to hit somebody in that shutter if somebody decides to poke their head out. And naturally, The Germans are going to be looking to take this as safely as possible, getting everybody healed up, looking to push in on the left side instead, and popping in immediately. The sentry going down relatively quickly. I'd argue that was a good takedown. Scruff going up on the heavy instead, but no players being found yet. Everybody's alive on both teams. Nothing has happened really. It's just a little bit of exchange here. The teams are looking at each other, and that Uber was essentially gone to waste as Sprite is coming up on his own. Polygon does go down. Scruff finds Adelos though, and Smeary gets taken down. Olga is dead though. No heals for the side of the Germans, and that's going to be the end of the push essentially, unless they can somehow have a scout and a soldier take down a team of 3. Actually, they do take down Scruff, and they have to pop off here. Yeah, they have to pop Sprite here. That's actually huge. My lord.
Really nice play there from Boxy and Gazzy to force off the Uber at the end. Keeping them on second, to be completely honest, as now they've bought so much time for the rest of their team to come in and contest second here. nerdRage are going to try to push out anyway. Maybe. They're actually walking in through Cheese right now, but Kunu maybe finds an early pick here onto Rising. Rising actually just hits some rockets. Never mind. Goodbye, Kunu. Does go down to Ams right now, who is jumping forwards onto Olga, but doesn't find anything except for Fishkoff's face. It's even Ubers again. It's a 10% ad for Olga, but they are just on the side of Germans, teasing the idea of pushing in onto the left side, but no, they're going to rotate around. They're actually trying to push in here. It's a bit weird, considering the fact that they don't really, like, they're not that big of a player ad, never mind. They'll just create their player ad by killing Smear and Scruff, but instead they all go down. The Ubers popped out a little bit weirdly. Sprite hasn't popped off his yet. It's finally popped off now. Kind of misreading the situation there, thinking they have an Uber ad where they really don't. But Ams, he just feeds into the enemy, and now it just allows the scouts of Boxy to jump back in.
God.
Such a confusing play there by Ams. There's no real reason to jump in.
Yeah, and they just run onto the point as soon as they take that last pick. They just run. I believe it was Gazzy onto the point, and he just caps. You know, nobody there to contest it really. Everybody's all hunched up on their low HP on top of the point. That's gonna be a round for the Germans. So let's see how this fourth one goes now with 12 minutes, a little under 12 minutes on the clock. Both teams headed into the fourth mid-fight. Let's see what these teams try to do here. nerdRage very aggressive early on. A lot of aggression coming out. M's going down. They essentially trades for Fishcup. And Voxy also going to be taken down together with Rising. That's 3 players down for the Germans, and they're going to just have to back off here with Smeary. Very aggressive in Kitchen, actually. He's going to fight a battle with Gazzy. You don't win those, unfortunately. Polygon is going to clean him up, though. And they're going to be forced to back out here. Olga and Idolos are going to stay alive, so they do keep their medic alive, which means the Germans are not going to just have an Uber disad. But nerdRage already so aggressive, they're going to take second off the back of this mid as well, and you know, the Germans are going to have to really try to push them back here, to really try to make some room. Actually, they're going to use the Uber. Force out the exchange. Sprite obviously going to have to use his own, and they actually block the point from being capped as well, so ever so slightly just buying more time for their team. Potentially even holding on to it, actually. They're not going to cap it off at all, so Germans holding on to the point, cleaning up Kunu. Rising is going to get picked out of the sky with a sticky, actually. Very nicely done. And 3 players down on nerdRage. You're going to just keep rolling forward, actually. Yeah, Smear is going to be caught out here a little bit too far forward. He couldn't get out in time, and Scruff and Sprite are going to be escaping with their lives, barely.
Really nice call there out of the Germans to recognize that even though Smear was alive, he was still heading to second, which means that he's not really able to hold with the rest of his team, and that just gives the Germans a really big advantage when they try to push out there. The Uber charge does get popped off immediately for both teams, but it doesn't really matter. Polygon now has found himself... Okay, this is a bit interesting. He's sitting in forwards, but he's just been spotted out immediately. There's just 2 stickies on him. He's probably not going to get anything at all. No, he's just back onto the sniper now. Fishkoff is in, does decide to fight his scout who's in the air, but no, he just goes down along with Gazzy on his team, and now Smear is just raining pipes.
Rising, though, he does actually skip onto Sprite. What a wonderful jump. You love to see it. Does pick up Sprite, and just off the back of that, his team's at least going to be able to hold on for at least a little bit longer. They do force off Olga, and Voxy being the only player alive here, trying to make something happen. Scrub is just staying alive. Oh my goodness.
What was that?
I am speechless.
Okay.
I don't know how that has happened, but yeah. nerdRage somehow hold on to their second for now. Am's going high, just seeing to be a little bit of a distraction, trying to fly for this guy. Same with Polygon. And they're going to be just prodding forward here, just holding on to that point, aggressing a lot onto the Germans. Actually, they're very low. They do pick up Kunu, though. Nice rocket by Fishcup. And Ams is going to follow up immediately onto the combo here. We're going to get a Wismir, and they're going to clean up everything. Gazi's on, though. Gazi actually does get onto the combo as well. He does pick up Sprite. And
Wait,
it's only...
is he gonna do this? Is Scruff gonna do this? He's 1 HP. He's actually 58, but so is the enemy demo man right now. But he's just pistoling. He has the scout. Aidlos does pick up a pack. He's just spamming sticks onto Scruff right now. Kunu's in as well. Aidlos just has to leave this. He's gonna go down actually. Oh my god. Scruff just picks his team out of the dirt there. Whoa.
They somehow just hold on, yeah, just Scruff. He's been having quite the stride for the past few bits here. He's just not been dying, holding on for dear life and getting the kills and cleaning up the damage when it's necessary. And gotta be able to hold on to second here. Gotta be in an almost equal Uber situation. A little tiny ad for the Germans, and you know, with a round up and 8 minutes on the clock, you can a little bit more comfortably try to slow the game down to your pace. Naturally, nerdRage and the Germans both not really a team that does that very much. They're not 7, so we don't see that very much out of them, but yeah, we'll have to see. Oh, Smear actually with a huge trap there onto Voxy and Fishcup. That's 2 players down. Just picked up immediately, and a counter-sack is going to be coming in as soon as we can see here. Even just the entire push, nerdRage just rolling forward, seeing what they can do here. They do force out the exchange. Rising gets picked up immediately before anything can even happen, before Olga can even make a connection to him. And Olga's going to get trapped out as well. With Smear actually getting picked up by Gazi, but everybody else gets cleaned up, and only the respawners, the early stragglers of the Germans, are alive. That's going to be a comfortable mid-take for nerdRage here.
Yeah, really a nice fight, just forcing them back into their own choke and just completely capitalize off the tiny choke point that the Germans, they were standing on. As Smear just walks forward, becomes the demo man from Team Fortress 2. Shoot stickies and pipes onto the entirety of the enemy German team. They're sitting now with a 50-60% advantage. They are building a sentry on last, maybe trying to hold on. A round take for nerdRage right now could be disastrous for the Germans, as it would mean that it just makes it so hard for them to stay in the game. 1 round is a lot more manageable than 2 rounds, but Rising does find a kill onto Scruff. He is actually behind on second, but not back.
He's still alive somehow. He's just hanging on. He's fighting Polygon right now. Oh, Polygon though. He's got a word with that. He's just gonna say, nope, not happening. I'm gonna pick you out of the sky. And in the meantime, his team is gonna push forward and take that round. That's a 3-1 lead for nerdRage with 6 minutes left on the clock. Let's see if they can hold on, or if the Germans somehow manage to tie this map up and take it to a golden cap.
Yeah, the Germans, they do only have 4, or like, realistically, like, they have 4 minutes to do it in total. It takes about 3 minutes, 2 minutes for both rounds. So now we do see nerdRage. They are aggressing so far forwards onto the enemy. Olga's dropped crazy low. It does go down to a pipe from Olga. Vox, Gazi dead as well. But Polygon and Scruff both taken out right now. But Rising tries to go in for the follow-up bomb, but Aidlos dangerously low at 3 HP. Fishkoff tries to find some sort of salvation, but no. nerdRage, they completely wipe the enemy German team, as now they're just moving on to second already. Maybe the nerdRage finally realized that the Germans' name is a trick and they don't actually have to be stupid, even though they read the enemy team name.
Yeah, maybe they finally understood what it is like to play against toxic German players.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't think they're toxic. I mean, I'm not toxic, and I don't know many people of this country that are toxic, but you never know. That being said, they're trying to hold last here naturally. The Uber comes in from nerdRage very, very early on the right side. Smear just goes off, of course, for a little bit of a flight. He does take down the sentry, though. And they also pick up Gazi. And yeah, they just jump on the point. Nobody was there to protect it, apparently. Screw killing people in the last push if you just walk on the point. Who cares about killing people anyway? Just play the objective. It works. It works.
Totally works. As I do think, actually, that will be the end of the second game. I don't think it's possible now for the Germans to come back in. They'll need 3 rounds in 4.5 minutes, which should be, like, mathematically impossible. I think there's not really much that they can do. So nerdRage already actually secured themselves a spot in playoffs, which is good. But now Fishkoff do have the coveted dead time right now. The all-important go for the air shots. go for the logs as Fishkoff, he's sitting in kitchen right now, just tries to pickaxe. Kunu doesn't quite manage to do it. Germans, they pick up a mid, but it's just too little too late, unfortunately.
So it's very weird and very scrappy. Everybody's just going for their plays now. Ams is just in so far behind. Kunu's running out, and is gonna be doing some cheeky stuff here. Ams is gonna go for this 1v1 with Rising and Fishkoff, I suppose. It's a 2v1 now, seeing if he can best these two German soldiers. Apparently, they're just gonna choose to run away because having a soldier behind means that he's not in front of you, which means you don't have to really worry about him killing your team. So that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be rolling it forward. If they pick up at least another round, you might as well, go for a little bit of a morale boost or whatever. Just have some fun time. And yeah, that's what's going to be happening here. They're going to be Ubering in immediately. The sentry though, not going down at all. Actually, it's just staying alive. It finally goes down. Meanwhile, a lot of cap time being had on the point, and yeah, they just killed Scruff on the point there and Kunu. So they do actually manage to take a second round, at the very least. Could be worse. No, 3 minutes left. Again, it's
be worse, but
I'm not
sure
possible.
how much worse it could be.
Actually, it could be possible. Now that we say that, I mean that was a 1.5 minute round. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Two more of those, please. Maybe it's technically possible. Actually, 3 minutes. If they just spend like a minute and 30 seconds, no. Look at how passively nerdRage are playing this now. As it's just Polygon, he finally aggresses, but Smear's actually dead already right now. Adelos just walks across the point, but Scruff goes down as well. Ham's just trying to pick onto Adelos, but no. Rising, Olga, Gazi are all dead. It's just Voxy left alive in choke. Tries to find the kill onto Ams here, but Ams is just gonna pickaxe him and taunt kill, because you know what? It's the end of the season, might as well. This is the only fun, is now the chat is exploding every single bind that Polygon has on his keyboard.
It appears to only be the same one, but, you know.
Yeah,
actually, he's got two. He's got two different binds, fair enough. I don't have any binds anymore. I got rid of all of them because I had to my buttons to more important stuff, and you only have so many buttons on a keyboard, so unfortunately, you know, it's not like that anymore. I've grown out of them. That being said, let's see what these last 2 great minutes of logs gameplay we're going to be able to see here. What these players are going to be trying to whip out. Nice pipe by
Adelos.
Just pipes all around, just killing everything. My lord. They're gonna actually be rolling it forward here. I'm not saying it's possible, but it's possible.
They'd have to win the round, like, right now. And then they'd have to win the next round, like, immediately. I think they're probably clinging on to the hope that this is possible. You do see something like out, so maybe this is the sign. Rising's just gonna jump in, both Ubers are popped off. It's just a minute left at this point, I think. This is taking too long for the Germans. They haven't been able to find the kills. Rising, Fishkoff, and Voxy are all dead, but no, Adelos! He's just found 2 kills with the sticky.
Oh my God!
He's actually still on the point somehow! Almost goes down there. Ams, the only guy alive. Wait, Olga's walking in, but Ams, is he gonna hit this headshot? No, he's not. Fights the kill.
Jesus Christ. I was hoping there for a second that Olga was actually just gonna win that round for them somehow. My man was walking forward trying to make a miracle happen. It could have very well happened, but yeah, I think that's going to be it. That's going to call it for this game of nerdRage versus the Germans. They're going to be tying it up with these maps. nerdRage taking the second, the Germans taking the first of Granary, and interesting game. Much closer than you'd expect to an extent. Much closer.
Honestly, I can't help but feel like nerdRage are probably a little bit disappointed with their showing in the first map. It just didn't really quite live up to expectations. They made a lot of bad mistakes that they'll hopefully be able to iron out coming into playoffs. They have secured themselves a spot in playoffs. So congratulations to that. Congratulations are in order to nerdRage. Unfortunately, the Germans, they're going to end their season with a meager 6 points on the table. No.
I mean, it could be worse. You could be the team that dropped out.
It could have been 0. Could have been 0.
So at least they've got that, but yeah. GG's all around. nerdRage have secured themselves that 4th place on the leaderboard for the playoffs, as we're going to be headed into coming in the next few weeks. So that's gonna be the 4th seed. So who do they play in the 4th seed? Is that already set, or do they pick? I forgot how ETF2L playoff rules work. I
I
have
don't
not been there
know.
in ages.
Can we? Do we have a resident ETF2L admin just like ready somewhere that can talk to us about all of this playoff stuff? Because I'm not really too caught up in the rules right now. I'm pretty sure that Ascent is straight through to the grand finals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they're either gonna have to play a 3rd seed or the 2nd seed, and I'm not really sure what. So they're either playing top 5 or Aura Electro, and I'm not really sure who won.
Yeah, so
In
that
that
depends
official-
on who won that game, pretty much. That just depends on that. Either way, let's look at some logs real quick, because that was an eventful game. Something's sticking out immediately.
Yes, there is. Polygon has 13 air shots.
It's a lot.
That's
Also,
a lot of air shots.
Kuno and Am's picking up a lot of frags for their teams. Like, a lot of killing has been done by those two people alone. It's quite something. Damage-wise, though, not too much, actually. Nothing special. Smear inching at those 300. You like seeing that, but beyond that, actually, it was a little bit of a slow game. It did go to full 30 minutes, so it does show, but yeah. Overall, very evenly matched, you can tell. Like, overall with the stats, even though, nerdRage did end up winning and did have more kills, at the end of the day, it was kind of evenly matched. Especially with the medics as well. Their performances, both really well. Olga, obviously, the jack of all trades, man. He somehow just has the ability to play whatever. And he's gonna still perform miracles, and he did get a kill on medic, so that's always something nice.
It is nice indeed. The medic kills do feel really good. But yeah, it's just... I'm getting word in chat that Aura did win their official 6-0. So they will be taking the 2nd seed with top 5 as the 3rd seed, and then nerdRage rounding out the playoffs.
Alright.
Do you think we should just move into some interviews? I do see
yeah.
a player lined up.
Absolutely. That seems like a great idea. I don't know if anybody else wants to be interviewed, but even this one is fine by me.
Maybe they're 3rd, actually. Maybe I can't do maths. I think they're 3rd. Yeah, they're 3rd.
They are.
Because nerdRage got 3 points and top 5 got 0.
Yeah, top 5 got 0, right.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much.
That being said, by the way, we have one of the wonderful Victor men here. Kuno's joining us for an interview, so how's it going, bud?
Hi. That's right.
How you feeling?
I'm very tired.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably an exhausting game. After all, went the full length for both maps, so fair enough. How you feeling about your team's performance? How you feeling? First map obviously probably not that great, probably a little disappointing, but I'll let you be the voice of your team here.
Yeah, the first map was a bit on the rough side. There was plenty of stuff going wrong, or with the server failing or refusing, should I say, to extend, and then the 2nd server gets DDoS, and then so we have to get a 3rd server. Brilliant. And the game itself was quite messy. We didn't feel like how we played in scrims, so. And well, I guess the Germans took advantage of it, which is well done by them.
Yeah, they seem to have a pretty good game, so hats
The
off to
dude is
them.
unstoppable. What can I say?
Just whipping up some miracles for the last match of the season when it doesn't even really matter anymore. Who would have seen that coming? But you looked a lot stronger on Snakewater, obviously. Seems like you found your stride. You really got into the game then, and it worked out well for you guys. So that's always nice. Yeah, you're gonna be heading into playoffs now in 3rd place, actually. Now that we've cleared up the math, because it turns out you're gonna be in 3rd, actually. So congratulations on that.
Epic.
Who are
I'm so
you?
proud.
How do you feel going into playoffs? Do you think you have a realistic shot? How far are you expecting to go?
Well, I think we've always said that once playoffs comes, we'll be a lot stronger than we are in the regular season. Just because it's playoffs, and we bring our A game in playoffs. So, realistic expectations, but fear. That's my message. Don't fear.
Alright. Don't fear. Well, fair enough.
I wonder, actually, when you're in an official like that, where you have to change servers so often, does that affect your mental game in any way? How do you sort of keep on top of
I mean,
having
it's
so many
annoying.
delays.
It's annoying for me because I'm the one getting the servers every time, but for everyone else, it doesn't affect a lot. I guess you can make the argument that the first time we had to change the server, we just went around, so it might have killed momentum, but I don't know. I don't think it's that deep.
You are also going to be going to BTS, Beyond the Summit Land. Do you know if you have any sort of North American teams already picked out that you're looking out for? Maybe send a message to the North American burgers trying to reclaim their superiority?
Well, Paddy is one of our loyal friends and subs, so watch out, kid.
What it was specifically Patty and
Specifically
his team.
Paddy.
No,
Not
not
even the
even
rest
his
of
team,
King's
just
crew.
him.
Not even the rest of
Just
King's crew,
him.
just Paddy.
all right,
Do
fair
not
enough.
bomb.
Minecraft Gym. Watch out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if there's nothing else that we have to
I
really
guess.
question for, yeah, I guess it's just time for the good old shout outs. So, anybody you want to shout out, Canoe, go right ahead.
Shout out the team. Shout out the sponsors. Cheers, nerdRage. You guys for doing this. And Germans for a good game.
All right, Wen, any shout outs from you?
Shoutouts to TurboTabs for unfortunately not being able to make this cast and allowing me to get one final cast in towards this end of the season. I'm sorry for the beginning. Tried my best. It was very quick,
was a little
sort of
scrappy,
end in
yeah.
a mix. Yeah, tried my best, but unfortunately, beginning was a bit scuffed for all of us. But hopefully you enjoyed the rest of it. Shoutouts to ArchRhythm for trying somehow to keep a cool head throughout this. Wish the best.
Yeah. If I have to say anything, obviously, shout outs as always to the teams putting on a great show. You had a great game. It was wonderful to watch and cast. Cheers for having me. Thanks to everybody for watching. And that's going to be it with the regular season of season 34, I believe. So we're going to be headed into playoffs in the coming weeks. Look out for that, obviously. And we'll see you then. That's it. Goodbye.